So third daily diary entry, it's Tuesday, and this is the first day that we're actually putting on sessions for the clients. All the clients came in last night and we had some great drinks at the Chandelier Bar, and then a few of us jumped into a bus and went over to the Wynn to go to the Media Link party. When we first got there, it was crazy, there were people everywhere, but in non-Vegas style, the party ended at around 11 and there were a few stragglers, and I think most people got into bed by about midnight. And I mean, we all knew that we had heaps of sessions to come to in the morning, so it was a bright and early start at around 8 a.m. And I think there's been so much going on, so to get up at 8 a.m. to come to these sessions, I think has been challenging for some people, including myself after having flown around the world. But we're all running on pure adrenaline and excitement about how amazing everything is here and how exciting some of the technology is. First up in the morning, we had Brian Cooley from CNET, and he talked really quite specifically about trends in tech and the impact of technology, and around the post-mobile world that we're in, like mobile is the new mainstream. He was talking about new interfaces that we're going to see when we're out on the show floor around gestural technology. There is this whole idea around the phablet that tends to be like which is one of the kind of hot words at the moment, which is this convergence of the tablet devices into mobiles and the mobile devices into tablets. So that's interesting. It's interesting for them as content producers. He talked us through what we're going to see from TV. TVs have a big presence on the show floor, and all of the big TV guys are there, and the commentary this year was around Hisense, which is a relatively new player to the market, taking over the space in one of the main areas in the central hall, which has been traditionally Microsoft's spot. So it's premium real estate, and they're new entry, so I'll have to catch up with the guys to see what everyone thought about that. But ultimately it probably didn't stand up to some of the other in terms of branding and presence, even though it did take over the Microsoft space. Connected cars is another big one that I talked about on the blog as well. The big auto guys are all there with their connected technology. There's limitations at the moment, but he talked about once that's open source, that we'll see lots of developments and applications and much more innovation in that space. Fast Company talked much more generally about the time of flux that we're in, and the need to be adaptive and reactive, and I feel that provided a really interesting context for everything that we're going to see. We are in this time of chaos, and everyone's trying to work through it, everyone's trying to innovate, everyone's trying to solve both business problems and consumer problems, and the best will rise to the top, and we're not in a position yet where we know really what that is. Then we had David Ching from AOL come in, and he calls himself a digital prophet, and he really is. He has such a prophet approach to how he talks about everything that we're going to see. I feel like I want to see his presentation 5 more times, because he just has so many great ideas, and he he just rolls one idea off the other, and it's this continual flow of inspiration in his talk. So I'm looking forward to going back and really reviewing what I think, what links back to some of the other sessions that we're seeing and what other commentators are talking about. And then lastly, we had Joel come in from Twitter, and he talked about Twitter's influential effect on world events, and and Twitter really bringing the consumer closer to that, which is interesting. You know, at the Olympics, which was one of the most tweeted about events, they had a camera under the pool that, you know, would go off every time a swimmer would pass it and automatically tweet it out. And I think, you know, this idea of the auto tweet based on a certain action or is interesting. I wonder if other brands or content platforms will take on that approach in the future and what kind of content streams that would create. He also talked about mobile being the first screen. I think, you know, there's a lot of dialogue around mobile first screen, third screen, second screen, the multi-screen, the average screen. You know, it's something we engage with. It's something that's so important to our lives. You know, they're calling it the first screen because we want it with us at all times. And one of the things I actually did see on the show floor, which I think, you know, sums this up, is this waterproofing of the phone. And I have a feeling that, you know, they talk about it for being getting out and about and, you know, not being able to drop it in a pool or, you know, whatever may happen to you from being outside. But really, I think it's because people want to take it in the shower with them because they literally cannot stand to have a moment where they can't have their phone next to them. Well, I mean, what a day. It was a big start. We hit the floor. We saw lots of speakers. It's all coming together, and, you know, I'm starting to connect all of the different trends and whatever everybody's starting to say in my mind, so that, you know, we can get to a real point of view on what's going to happen now, but also in the next couple of years. And I think it's going to be a really interesting time.